About 37% of the goods we buy in the U.S. are shipped here, according to World Bank. So it's no wonder shipping accounts for about 3% of global emissions.
And we probably won't change our habits anytime soon, but companies can change how ships are fueled. One growing possibility, ammonia. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Maria Gallucci is a senior reporter at Canary Media, and she joins us with the details. Thanks for coming to talk about this. So let's just start with the basics. How can ammonia power ships?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me. Ammonia is a pretty common compound. It's used in plastics and fertilizers today. But shipping experts are increasingly think it could also be used to fuel vessels, either being burned in an engine or running through a fuel cell.
So this is already being worked on by at least one other company. So tell us about what they're doing.
Sure. So I recently wrote about a Brooklyn-based startup called Amogy, and they're developing a chemical reactor that would actually take ammonia and break it down into hydrogen to be able to fuel a tugboat. Obviously, they hope to scale up to giant ocean crossing vessels. And they're one of several companies, many companies actually, that are working to make ammonia a reality for cargo shipping.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about, I guess they're breaking it down and processing. And the first thing I was worried about are the emissions when it's getting burned or used. Is that okay to be putting into the atmosphere? And because it's not healthy for humans to breathe.
So ammonia doesn't contain carbon compounds, so it doesn't emit carbon dioxide. It kind of depends on how it's used. It can emit nitrogen oxides, which are a potent greenhouse gas and air pollutant in tiny quantities, but that's something that engineers are working on to minimize that type of pollution. When it's used in a fuel cell, so it's a different type of device that uses chemical energy to create a reaction, produce electricity, and that does not create emissions in the same way. There are concerns around ammonia because of its toxicity. Mm-hmm. So if it were to leak or spill or be vented, it could be very dangerous, potentially fatal, but that's definitely an area that the shipping industry and the chemical industry more generally work to contain.
All right, Maria Gallucci, thank you so much. Really interesting. Senior reporter at Canary Media. Thank you for joining us. There's so many different things that I wouldn't even think that you could use to power stuff.
Right. I mean, when you hear ammonia, I was like, uh-oh. So I was happy to hear from her. But, when you hear what she's saying, that's great. The more we hear, the better. I like what's going on for sure.